All right, hello everybody, welcome. Today, as you can see, we are going to be reacting to Resident Evil, the teaser trailer that just came out a couple hours ago. However, as I was live streaming Resident Evil Revelations 2, most of y'all wanted to get me to watch this trailer in specific because obviously I'm a big Resident Evil fan myself, and I'm assuming that most of you all that are going to be watching this are so as well. And yeah, I'm going to be sharing my overall opinions and my analysis of how this entire teaser trailer is about. I know that it has sparked a lot of major controversy within the Resident Evil community, especially in the Twitter space, but I, for one, try to ignore it because I want to be able to see it first glance. And I don't know, just talked about the entire trailer itself. Obviously, I'm going to be sharing some ideas from different games and different films, so I hope you guys tend to see the whole resemblance of my overall reaction to it whatsoever. But if you guys come into an agreement or a disagreement, let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Well, the whole creepiness is there. The whole creepiness, the whole scarcity is there. But like how I said in the beginning, like this kind of reminds me of 28 years later. Like it feels more like a 28 years later movie than a Resident Evil. But I'm just gonna analyze this entire teaser, parts of it. Dude, that shot is actually pretty perfect because it kind of reminds me of how the liquor showed up in RE2. Now, it'll be fucking crazy if all of a sudden during that scene you tend to see a liquor coming in, like, I don't know, crossing the window, like just in RE2. That will be fucking that will be a good reference. But if you pay attention to how the camera is set up, like it's pointing into the direction of the window and then a phone. So obviously you see the main guy calling somebody, but there's nobody responding. So I'm thinking whether if all of a sudden a liquor will tend to like creep in upon him, but I don't even know. I'm just speculating, bro, because I played all these Resident Evil games. So whatever scene that I'm looking at, I could pretty much say like, oh, this might be this right here, or this might come out, or this might be that. Dude, I like this shot, dude. I like this shot because it, like I said, it's pandering to main character, the phone, and the window. We don't know what the fuck the window is gonna pop up. In my brain, is like, oh, maybe a liquor is gonna fucking pop up or something like that. See, now this shot right here kind of reminds me of 30 Days of Night. If you guys haven't seen 30 Days of Night with I can't remember the actor's name. Like that, this entire shot, especially because it's snowy, like this is a wonderful shot because you're not seeing anything surrounding other than the moon lighting the entire surface of where the character is heading at. So this actually reminds me of 30 Days of Night as well. That's a movie, by the way. He's going to the barn, running away from, I don't know, could it be a liquor? Could it be a zombie? We don't know. Now this is actually pretty, this is a nice touch. Because obviously in Resident Evil games, the characters tend to go through drawers to find ammo for the most part. However, this guy happens to find a camera. Bro, I remember there was one movie in particular that I can't remember what it's called, guys. But I do remember seeing a horror movie that had the main character in a pitch black environment, and he was just using the flash in order for him to see the, like, what's happening in front of him. I'm trying to remember, but I do remember seeing that scene in that particular movie. I was like, oh shit, dude, like that is fucking creepy. So I don't know if this character is going to do the exact same thing, just in case if all of a sudden the place that he's at right now tends to go out of electricity. Now he gets a double barrel shotgun. It's kind of like how Ethan Winters this feels like more of a Ethan Winters type of a character than the legacy characters.
Like a seriously fucked up situation right now.
Yeah, because who the fucking can that guy resembles to? No one. He doesn't look like Chris. He doesn't look like Leon. So this guy must be a brand new character. It's kind of like I'm getting the vibes of Ethan Winters from him. Now in this, I think he's already in the city, and he's seeing like a lot of dead bodies. This is so like 28 weeks later. See the hallway, there's a scooter, a lot of dead bodies, and he's carrying an MP5 from what I've seen, from what I'm looking at. Now this is actually pretty cool, bro. This is actually pretty cool because obviously in Resident Evil games, you always tend to have keys that you need to find in order for you to unlock certain doors. I like this, bro. He's trying to reach in, but he just doesn't know if the guy is completely dead or could be a zombie. But he takes somebody drags the body. I don't know, dude. I feel like a lot of people I feel like a lot of people, especially on Twitter that I've seen, are like talking so much shit just because of it not being a legacy character. But a lot of people were like, okay, like where does this come out in the video game? But lo and behold, if you guys aren't aware, there is a creature that's exactly like this guy, but in Resident Evil 6. And from what I've seen on Twitter, nobody brings up that enemy from Resident Evil 6. That just shows you that a lot of people tend to forget that Resident Evil 6 existed, because it had that same enemy, like a bloater type. So now you're actually seeing an actual bloater before this movie. All right. Now this is actually pretty strange. Why? Because this feels more like the Evil Within, more so than like the Evil Within enemy or the lady than a Resident Evil creature. You know how the creature is like popping out with her arms? That is very the Evil Within-ish. So I feel like they're gonna include not the same exact lady, the one who plays in the Evil Within, but yeah, when I saw this, I'm like, okay, that is straight up the Evil Within. So we're gonna come across a freaking enemy that has multiple bodies or multiple arms and legs, and eventually is gonna become a freaking the one who's gonna be on pursuit for this guy. Now this right here reminds me so much of 28 Weeks Later. In 28 Weeks Later, you know that scene where all of a sudden the guy from the beginning of the movie on 28 Weeks Later, he tends to come across his wife that actually survived that first encounter with the undead. He goes up to the wife because she is like stuck on and strapped into a bed inside the hospital. He gets to her, tries to kill her, but then all of a sudden she spits on the guy's face, and that's where eventually he tends to turn. And later on, you tend to see like the entire hospital tends to shut down electricity wise, and then you see that the guy all of a sudden goes for one guy, and then that other guy turns into a zombie and then turns into the other one. And that's where eventually everybody tends to leave the fucking building. So this is exactly what reminds me of 28 Weeks Later. There's like a lot of inspirations / influences from games, movies. And I kind of like that, bro. It kind of I do enjoy that, because me as a horror fanatic and has played multiple horror games throughout my entire life, like I know the resemblance like real quick, just because I'm a big fan of the horror genre. This, however, reminds me so much of Resident Evil 0. I mean, when especially early on, when Rebecca and the Stars members tend to come across that truck that all of a sudden Billy Cohen tends to escape from. So I don't know if this guy is gonna come across another survivor, maybe. But who knows? But he's running towards to a cop, thinking that there might be somebody there, but it's more than likely that no. So He's probably going to gather something out of this car, whether if it's a weapon, ID, anything that indicates if there's like actual people that was in the car, not inside the car, but around the car.
I just wanted you to know.
Okay, now this, so this is a spider. I'm assuming that this guy is actually seen. I don't know if it's a spider. It kind of looks like it's a spider, but this kind of reminds me of Resident Evil Requiem, the most recent Resident Evil game, where Leon fights one of those spiders. However, we do not know if this spider is full on completely dead or it's just there to maybe fucking scare the shit out of this guy. Now this creature, however, I can't say nothing much about it because it's all a blur, but this feels like something like an alien movie where all of a sudden you tend to see the small little xenomorph coming out of the womb, I guess. So maybe that's another resemblance right there. Maybe it's a creature that's about to be like born from being a baby to like a fully grown adult. I don't know. But this reminds me of Alien as well. Now this, however, this is actually pretty creepy as well. Because you tend to see a lot of zombies that are on pursuit of him. But all of a sudden they tend to fall down.
I love you.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember another movie. Hold on. I'm trying to remember another movie that had that same feel. I'm thinking World War Z with Brad Pitt, but it's been a long time since I've seen that movie with Brad Pitt. That, I mean, I don't know if they got inspirations from that movie as well. Because like I said, bro, like each scene that we're seeing, it's taken from other movies as well.
I love you.
Notice how, look, pay attention, like he's actually carrying a first aid spray. So we do not know if this guy is actually bringing the first aid spray to maybe someone who is actually super hurt, maybe a relative of him, or maybe a friend that he comes across a survival. So he's probably like in pursuit of, you know how Carlos, when Jill gets infected, right, with the virus that Nemesis tends to inflict upon her, I feel like it's kind of like the same with this guy's end, where eventually he needs to step out to a nearby hospital to get some supplies and then bring it back to him or her, whoever is like infected. That's another reference to it as well. But damn, bro, like if you pay close attention, obviously it's in the middle of the night, it's snowing, and most of the zombies are like in the buildings chasing after him. But yeah, man.
I love you.
So far, I cannot even complain. I can't be like, I mean, they would have, look, here's the thing, guys. They would have called this movie something else other than Resident Evil, and I'm pretty sure it'll be successful. It doesn't necessarily need the Resident Evil title in it in order for it to sell. Because, bro, like recently in the past several years, like horror movies have been dominating the charts ever since. We seen that with Barbarian, we see that with Weapons, we see that with Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. So if they would have titled this a different name, I mean, I would assume that it would do great on box office. But adding Resident Evil into it, I mean, that's just like icing in the cake at this point. But yeah, what do you guys think overall? What do you guys think overall, guys? Let me know on the comment section down below. So far, I mean, like I said, this is only a teaser. So eventually we'll end up getting brand new trailers upon its release. But I mean, I'm liking the fact that it's bringing back that whole scarcity, that whole horrific feel to it of the games as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's my whole analysis of the teaser trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed what I got to bring in as far as my thoughts and how the resemblance and the ideas, the cadences that this teaser trailer has to offer. But if you got something in mind, feel free to share it in the comment down below. I am going to post this reaction on my YouTube channel later on. However, I forgot to record it. So maybe after the stream, I'm probably going to screen record the entire reaction and then probably upload it. And that's how I'm going to roll with it. So, but yeah, I mean, I can't say nothing much. I can't say nothing bad about it, but I am actually looking forward to it because it looks very promising.